Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 10th. This week, we are going to, well, first off, we're going to use the Tarot of the Mystical Moments, but I'm stalling because I feel like this needs just a quick little mix-up here, so I apologize, Pisces, but we're going to jump right in here right now, and let me get my volume isn't even set correctly today, Pisces, so let's fix that. But we're going to take a look at your current general energies in this first row. In your second row, we are going to see where you are lucky this week, so we're going to mix it up a little bit this week. And in your last row, we are going to look at where you can move mountains in your life. Everybody liked the moving mountains reading, so I'm going to do kind of like a smaller version of that in the last row here. At the end, I will be pulling 3 yes or no question cards as well. And if you don't have 3 questions, that's okay as well, because I will be answering those all together. But Pisces, let's see what is going on for you here for the week of May 10th. And it looks like a pretty good week for you here, Pisces, if I'm being honest. Let me sorry, I just got to get this right because it's not. It's just that simple, Pisces. It's just not right? So let's fix it. Here in your first row in your current general energies, you have the White Raven Spirit. It says trust in magic. So I feel for some of you, you need to believe in something magical at this time. The words I'm getting here are like your abilities. So there's some sort of ability that you have, Pisces, and I feel like you need to use that talent, gift, skill, or ability. You know, kind of like this card always gives me more like magician vibes, you know? So for a lot of you, I feel like you could really be creating your own reality at this time, or you could be manifesting a lot of great things, but there's like a talent, gift, skill, or ability that you need to use here. I'm actually seeing that I'm almost getting like more temperance vibes here. You have the temperance card right here in your middle row, in the area of where you are most lucky this week, Pisces. And the temperance card is about mixing energies together. And again, that's what I'm getting here. I feel like you need to almost mix these 3 energies that I'm seeing here together to be very successful this week. You have the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Swords in this row. So it's like you're looking at something very practically, and you're doing things practically with that King of Pentacles. You're looking at where you can have the most, kind of like the largest effect, if that makes sense, with the King of Wands. So like, for example, really, there's no need to overcomplicate this. The King of Wands is saying you are playing to your strengths here, Pisces, and I love that. To me, literally, I think that if everybody did that, everybody would be a lot more successful, right? I mean, it's like just in this last year, not to brag, but I grew my channel like over 300,000 subscribers in a year, and how did I do that? I just did what works for me, right? Not what works for everybody else, not what works for other channels and things like that. What works for me? So literally, I'm a Pisces, so that's why I'm telling you this. And Pisces, as I've been saying, I'm gonna keep gassing you up here because there is a lot of energy entering into your first house, Pisces, and all of this energy is going to be lifting you up, is going to be kind of like gassing you up. But this isn't going to happen until like the end of the year next, and going into next year as well. But really, I feel you need to play to your strengths here. Very simple row, because it's not. I feel like it's not really talking about anything in general. I think it's more talking about you in general, Pisces, and you kind of mixing all your energies together, but mostly playing to your strengths is what I'm getting with that King of Wands. The Queen of Swords, I feel like I'm just getting the word trust on. But I feel like what you are trusting is, again, it's just saying trust in the results. Like, if you're wondering, is something going to work for me? Well, does it work or doesn't it? If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, stop doing it. Plain and simple. So I feel that Queen of Swords is talking about trust. I do feel this week that you will be dealing, it looks like a very social type of energy to me. And again, this doesn't have to be in public. You could be socializing online. You could be doing a lot of socializing or having meetings on Zoom and all those other things as well. So it does look like a very social week. But let's see what's going on here for you, Pisces, in your general energies this week. You have the Sun. Damn, Pisces. Like I said, a ton of attention coming in for you. Probably a very social week. Doesn't really matter what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for love, there's definitely going to be opportunities in love. I don't really see anybody specific here just yet. You do have the Lovers card here at the end, which is interesting. But, again, I don't see anyone specific just yet, but I do feel like there could be a lot of attraction if you want it. Yeah, you have the Two of Swords as well. Self-doubt. I feel like the word self-doubt is popping into my head here. And I feel like you need to get rid of any of those like moments where you're doubting yourself or where you're doubting whether or not something can work or won't work or will work or whatever. I feel like you need to kind of get rid of those self-doubt moments with that energy. And the Page of Pentacles, I literally almost said Page of Pentacles because you've been getting this Page of Pentacles showing up in your reading. If you're looking for love, there is definitely someone new coming in for you here, Pisces. Look, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Temperance, and the Lovers. You've been very patient for someone. I feel that this is a kind of like an unconventional type of situation. So for those of you who are dealing with new love or attracting new love, this could be something where you're meeting a person where you're like together but separate. And what that means is like maybe you are maintaining a relationship but you live separately or you keep everything separate, right? I don't know why that's popping into my head, but it is. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If it works, plain and simple, right? I mean, literally this first row is saying, if something works, it works. Just leave it alone. There's no reason to kind of like overcomplicate things like I was going to do, right? So play to your strengths, Pisces, in that first row. Love it. In your second row here for where you are most lucky this week, you have the Peace card. Obviously, I feel like being at peace and really not trying to force things this week is going to be very beneficial for you. So I would just keep the peace. You even have 2 doves on this Temperance card here, Pisces. So for a lot of you, being at peace, kind of resting, relaxing, recovering, being in that space is going to be very beneficial for you is what this card is saying. So I would just be at peace at this time for sure. You have the Emperor, the Six of Swords, and the Temperance card here. Really, this is saying that where you are going to be most lucky this week, number one, is kind of like sticking to a plan. The Emperor he's a man with a plan. Actually, on this deck that I'm using, Tarot of the Mystical Moments, it has a male and a female version of the Emperor, and this is a female version right here. And so I feel, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify as, right? So I feel like you are just a person with a plan, right? Let's put it that way. And the Six of Swords is like literally going from choppy waters to calmer waters. So you're kind of like moving on to calmer shores here. The Temperance card, this is something you've been waiting for a very long period of time. But I really feel like where you are most lucky this week is in mixing energies together, which I kind of said at the beginning of the reading as well. I'm pretty sure that in your Moving Mountains bonus reading that I did for you, I'll make sure to post a link for that as well, Pisces. But I'm pretty sure in that reading that I did for you, I was saying something to you where it's almost like you're taking something that is kind of like very realistic and you're taking something else that is very unrealistic, and it's like you're bringing the two things together. And I feel there's a lot of luck in that for you. It's like and that's what Pisces does, right? We are the true innovator. We are the ones that are supposed to kind of like take things out of the ether, out of the dream worlds, if you will, or out of the spiritual world, and we are meant to bring things down to earth. So in a lot of ways, I feel that you could be doing this. I think the example I gave in that video, as I was saying, like maybe you maybe in your dream world, you live in a world of dragons, unicorns, and vampires, right? And it's like you could be writing a book about all three of those things. So it's like you're taking something unrealistic and making it realistic. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's just an example here, Pisces, where you could be, and that's what I mean by like mixing energies together with that Temperance energy. But again, if you have any crazy, wild dreams, I would say that you are going to be most lucky in taking those ideas or taking your plans and putting them into action, kind of manifesting something here on earth, plain and simple. You have the Five of Cups here. Definitely let go of your disappointments. Six of Wands, major success. I love 2 6s, especially when they come up together. 2 6s to me says you are on the right path. It doesn't matter how crazy, how wild it seems. You are on the right path, Pisces. So I would just keep moving forward. I feel like where you are going to be most lucky is kind of if you are focused on a mission. And I talked about this as well, I'm pretty sure, in that May bonus reading that I did for you, Pisces. I was talking all about how if you are focused and you stay focused, that is where the most luck is going to come in for you. And you have the Temperance card. Again, literally the universe saying, I meant what I said. So you bringing something from out here, down here to earth is going to be what is most beneficial for you. And it could be anything. It's like maybe going to college is a stretch for you, right? Pisces, it's going to be different for everybody. And there are no judgments here, by the way. So again, whatever is a stretch for you, it looks like you're kind of bringing a stretch down to earth. It looks like you're you're bringing something that seems hard but isn't down to earth. And I feel like that's where you're going to find the most success in this row. So I love this for you because it's like you're manifesting something great. In your last row here, for how you can move mountains. Again, if you don't know, I did a moving mountains reading, and the point of the moving mountains reading is that Greg Braden says if your head and your heart become one, you can move mountains. So we're going to look at what you're trying to accomplish. We're going to look at your head, your heart, and how to mix the two things together so that you can move mountains. And mountains could be goals, wishes, dreams that you're trying to accomplish. You have the eagle spirit here. The eagle spirit is very intuitive, number one, but also very future thinking. The eagle, the mythology of the eagle is that they can see very far, but they can't see around the curve of the earth. They can only see so far, right? And they can't see everything that is coming in for them. So it's kind of like a card of that says you are soaring very high. You are kind of at this very high point in your life maybe. But it's like there's still things that you have to discover. There are still things that you have to kind of move towards. But I feel like you are kind of looking for that one thing to focus on in your life. The eagle has very sharp talons, right, Pisces? And it kind of says that, the eagle is looking for kind of that chief aim, that main focus in life. And I feel, that for Pisces, that makes perfect sense because I feel like your kind of life has been very chaotic. So you're probably looking for something that's very stable. In the area of your head, you have the Three of Wands here. It's like your head is very future focused. This is a card of foresight, seeing things happen or feeling things before they actually happen in your life. So it's like that there is something that you want. You always get the Three of Wands in your readings, Pisces. No joke. So I'm always saying this to you, that you're always getting this card. And I feel like you are focused on kind of like one thing that you want to accomplish. And the Three of Wands is like a card of, expansion, but it is a card of foresight and growth as well. So it's like you see something that you're wanting to take action on. I feel like your head wants to make something happen. Could be getting into a relationship, could be starting a business, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I feel that you are very focused on one thing, but it is a card of waiting for the perfect moment. As I always say to you, Pisces, when there will never be a perfect moment. The perfect moment is now for you to take action. Next, you have the Seven of Cups here, Pisces. This is in the area of your heart, and it's basically saying that your heart is feeling pulled in multiple different directions. I feel like the challenge between your head and your heart here is the fact that it's like your head knows that something is going to provide a lot of growth, right? Like starting a business or getting into a relationship with a person or whatever. It's like your head knows that something is right for you. Even in this row here, it's like we have the Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, the two sixes, Six of Swords, Six of Wands, and the Three of Wands so far. It's like you see things very clearly in your head, but it's like your heart is kind of like going, I feel like, is a little bit uncertain. Maybe having some anxiety is the best way I could describe it. It's almost like you're not exactly sure, or your heart is kind of feeling a little bit scattered, right, with the Seven of Cups energy. I feel that this could be due to like a lack of focus or kind of thinking that the grass is going to be greener on the other side type energy. In a lot of ways, I feel that this last row, you have the Lovers as your solution. For some of you, this could be like committing to a solid relationship, something that's very positive. But I'm just getting like a mental point of origin is what's popping into my head here, Pisces. And so, as far as the message is concerned, what I feel like that message is saying for you, Pisces, is that if you make yourself your own mental point of origin, if you make yourself your own kind of like sole focus, right? And you stop worrying about like what everybody else is telling you, what everybody else thinks, and like all that other stuff. And if you just do things truly for yourself, then I feel like you will be moving mountains at this time of your life. And not just this week. I feel like for the next years, right? I feel like if you truly make yourself your own mental point of origin, that's what will happen. It's kind of like a weird message that I'm getting here. And I'm just going to describe it to you, Pisces. It's almost like some of you in life, it's like maybe you want to watch something on TV, but maybe you have like a partner or a person and they want to watch something else. And it's like you let them watch something else. I feel like it's like you need to flip things around. I feel like you need to realize that it's like you are kind of attracting people who almost want to step into your life, if that makes sense. It's like they want to step into your reality. And I feel like you need to realize that. And this is a weird message that's popping into my head. So take it how it resonates, Pisces. But it's almost like I said, it's almost like you need to realize that people want to step into your reality. So stop changing things for so that, to bring it back to their reality. Does that make sense? I hope so, because this goes for friends, family members, lovers as well, Pisces. It's almost like people want to step into your reality, so it's like when you change for them and you change, it's like then they're just going back to their reality, which they don't want. And I think it's almost like you're experiencing weird friction with people in your life is the best way I could say this message. It's almost kind of like channeling. It's almost like that's a channeled message, not in the cards here, Pisces, but that's kind of like what I'm getting. And so I would say don't do that. I feel like you need to realize that people want to step into your reality. And again, if you want to create a TV show where you dress up as a dinosaur like Barney, then freaking do it, because there are a lot of people who want to step into this reality is what this row is saying. And I feel like you need to realize that. I'm getting all sorts of weird things here on the Seven of Cups, like comparing yourself to other people or feeling like you're not special and like all this other stuff. So it's like I feel like you want to do something, but it's like there's too many external thoughts. It's like your heart is actually very focused on this Three of Wands, like something that you see is expansive. But I would just be careful of other people, right? Yeah, you have the Knight of Wands in the area of your head. Knight of Wands knows that something is going to make him happy. He is a true card of desires. He knows that something is his chief aim. He knows that something is going to be very successful, and he's willing to kind of explore and experience mysteries, right, to kind of manifest whatever this is. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. Just get to work with with your heart. Eight of Pentacles is just putting in the work. And the Ace of Swords, the truth. You know that this is a victory for you here. And hey, guess what, Pisces? If there was a card that represented moving mountains, it would be the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a breakthrough. Ace of Swords is a victory. And the Ace of Swords is always above the mountains on this card. And so it represents kind of being easily able to overcome obstacles, challenges, and difficulties. I love this reading for you, Pisces. This is amazing. So definitely a lot of success coming in for you. We're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards now, Pisces. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here. So feel free to pause this video if you need to think of your questions. If you don't have questions, that's okay too. I'm going to put them all together at the end, and I'm going to read them straightforward. Again, no life or death questions. This is just for entertainment purposes only, Pisces. So, take this with a grain of salt, obviously. For question number 1, you have the Hierophant. I would say yes. This is something you've earned, Pisces, whatever you're asking about. So whatever you're asking about, I feel like this is like a reward almost, something you have earned. For question number 2, Page of Cups, I would say yes. Something you're imagining here, but I would say yes, this could be love as well. And for question number 3, I would say no, 5 of Wands, too much conflict. Putting this all together, when I put it all together, by the way, I go backwards, I go this way. So I feel like you have experienced conflict in love. There's definitely an admirer coming in for you, someone who wants to marry you with the Hierophant. So if you've been experiencing conflict in love, I feel like there is like a new person coming in for you here, Pisces. For others, I feel that this is something you're imagining that you want to create, again, which shows up here at the end of your reading. And I feel like this combination is kind of like saying you really have to go through the process, right? Hierophant is a process. The Hierophant, he normally has 3 levels to the crown that's on his head. And it kind of represents 3 stages, of learning, or 3 stages of going through something that he wants to manifest. So I feel that a lot of you need to realize that there are kind of like certain levels, or there are stages to what you are going through. And yeah, I just feel like you need to kind of like go through something. It's like you need to accept the journey. 5 of Wands, I used to call Indiana Jones, because the 5 of Wands to me represents going on some sort of crazy adventure to find treasure, just like Indiana Jones. So it's kind of like saying if you're trying to start a business or a relationship, it's like enjoy the ride, enjoy the adventure. But damn, Pisces, I love this reading for you. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Pisces, and definitely enjoy your week.